Okay, guys, it's Dover here. Alright, so if you watched the last episode, you know the thing with the audio, and yes, I am still sick, so let's keep going. Part 3, The Empress. Inside the palace, the floors, walls, and steep ceiling are all clean, cut, polished stone. A servant with a blue feathered cap comes sweeping up to us. With a deep bow, they pass me and dash to Portia's side. Chamberlain, how are we doing on time? Impeccable timing. The first course will be served shortly. Her ladyship has yet to descend. Portia heaves a sigh of relief and hands her fruit basket off to the bright-eyed servant. Perfect. Tell the kitchen that our guest has arrived. With a curtsy, the servant slips away, disappearing behind a panel in the wall, which slides seamlessly shut. I'll show you to the dining room. Her ladyship will be here soon. Dining? With the countess? What? Don't tell me you thought we wouldn't feed you. She leads me to the fine mahogany door at the end of the cavernous hall, and she opens the door, leading me inside. See, I step into the dining room. Rich scents fill my lungs, unfamiliar and tantalizing. Before me, in a long table laid heavy with platters of the most careful delicacy. Portia. I think it's Portia, actually, not Portia. Oh well, we'll keep going with Portia anyway, because I like it. It's more intriguing. Portia pulls out a chair for me, and I sink into the plush seat. Now that the food is right in front of me, my hunger returns tenfold, but the Countess has yet to arrive. I look around the room and notice the strange painting on the wall across from me. The scent is from the meal shared among a host of figures with the heads of beasts. The scene is that of a meal shared among a host of figures with the heads of beasts. The table is laden with small animals provided by a central character with the head of a goat. Rays of gold glitter around its head, and its eyes are strikingly lifelike. Welcome, Deborah. I see you are admiring the painting. Welcome, Deborah. I see you are admiring the painting. My head whips towards the head of the table. Countess Nadia is taking her seat. Her lips curve into a placid smile when her eyes meet mine. She looks like Urbosa. I said this in the original recording, but yeah, obviously I didn't use that, so yeah. In my opinion, she looks like Urbosa from Breath of the Wild, and that just makes her fabulous. Like, look at her nose, her hair, even her clothes. So when I think of her voice, I think of it in Urbosa's. No, I didn't read it. Yes? Accidentally tapped on the phone. I'm shushed. Okay. She drums her elegant fingers along her cheekbone, watching me with idle interest. Oh, you have peculiar taste. I cannot say I care much for it. So why does it remain on the wall, you may ask? Oh, she was asking if I like the painting. A servant appears at my side to place a bowl of yogurt. It's yogurt. Not yogurt. It's yogurt. And cucumber soup before me. I carefully bring it to my mouth and drink. Sentimental value, I suppose. It was one of my husband's favorites. The Countess's husband, Count Lucio. As his name takes form in my mind, the goat figure before me becomes somehow familiar. Suddenly, its red eyes are so vivid that I can almost feel them returning my gaze. Beautiful red. Ah yes, it is a beautiful red. I didn't realize that I'd said the words aloud. Amusement shimmers in the Countess's brilliant eyes. The goat-headed one in the middle is Count Lucio, or so it's supposed to be. Providing for the people as he saw himself, he certainly knew how to entertain. My empty bowl is whisked away as its place in is a dish of flasky golden savouries. I know how fondly the people of this city remember the Count's masquerade. Did you ever attend the masquerade, Derva? Our annual revelry in honour of my husband's birthday, a delight to all Vesuvia. It is a memory now tingled with bitterness after Count Lucio was murdered at the last masquerade. I merely joke. Mercifully I catch myself, my pulse quickens nonetheless. Such a terrible shock to the guests, such a vicious injustice upon this house. To slaughter the host while he celebrates, sharing his joy and prosperity with open doors. I try to focus on my food, but my eyes keep drifting back to the painting. Count Lucio's murder, the story is full of holes, muddied by wild rumours and unanswered questions. But the end is always the same. The Count retired to his chambers, and by midnight he and his chamber were engulfed in flames. The culprit was captured on the spot, but before he could be brought to justice, he escaped. Ever since that day, quests to the palace have been few indeed. I look away from the portrait just in time to meet the Countess's keen gaze. But now that I'm here, she says it with such gravity, such confidence. Countess, what does any of this have to do with me? Dover, the masquerade is precisely why I called you. This year I intend to hold the masquerade once more. I stare at her. So does every servant in the room. How? Why? The festivities in Lucio's honour will be more fantastical than ever. There is but one loose and in need of time. Count Lucio's murder still roams free to this day. Dr. Julian Jeremy. Okay, so Julian is the guy I called Jeremy in the last video because I forgot what his name was. Dr. Julian Dvorak, my husband's former physician. I sit very still, suddenly cold all over. Dr. Julian Dvorak. Now I remember the name on the wanted posters. Now I know exactly who broke into my shop. Dr. Dvorak confessed to the crime when we caught him. All that is left is his sentence. Execution by hanging. There is a terrible crash. Portia's face is stricken with horror. At her feet, the broken remnants of our dessert are seeping into the floor. Portia! Forgive me, milady. Slippery hands. You are forgiven. Two servants rushed to her aid, sweeping away the shattered mess, and with wind sprint speed. I've never heard that in my life. This is where you come in. Dr. Dvorak has been very elusive, but you have quite the reputation. Rumor has it that you have surpassed even your master, Astra. I myself see the future in dreams, whether I like it or not. And this is how I know that you are the one who will find Dr. Dvorak. And if I say no? The Countess sets down her glass, briefly pressing her fingers to her temples. Then I will ask you to reconsider. Perhaps you misunderstand me. I do not relish executing the doctor, but justice must be served. Not only for the Count, but for the city, and so to commence the festivities. I just realised she has the same hairstyle as me right now. Well, the doctor must die. on the gallows for his terrible crime. The Countess rises. On instinct, I rise as well. Portia! Portia! Yes, milady. Showed over to the guest quarters. Right away, milady. Portia pulls me to my feet and with a humble bow whisks me to the door. Portia is quiet as she ushers me down the hall towards my room. After a few turns, we pass a wide staircase, veiled in shadow. A draught rushes down from the floor above, prickling my skin. It's cold and it smells of ash. Curled up on the bottom step, two large lanky dogs. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, fathomless eyes fix upon me, and they rise slowly without a sound. They approach me cautiously, long thin snouts sampling the air. Silky fur rises along their spines, and their lips curl back from rows of perfect teeth. Okay, not so cute. Portia clears her throat, folding her arms over her chest. She has their attention at once. They freeze, tense as springs. Mercedes, Melchior, be nice. This is a guest, got it? Guest. Sorry about that, Dover. They're lovely animals, but they're not friendly. The dogs turn up their snouts at her, their eyes still locked on me. On a whim, I reach out to run my hand over the smaller one's silky coat. I wouldn't do that if I were you. The dog rears back from my hand, or from Portia's panicked tone. I'm not sure. Sorry, they're a little unpredictable. They seem on edge, and I'd rather you keep the hand. The hounds trot dutifully back to their spot. They nearly blend into the marble. Oh, no wonder they're like this. They haven't had their chamomile cakes. She looks nervously from me to the two dogs, still as statues. Wait here, Dover, and it's probably best to keep your distance from them. I'll be right back with those cakes. Portia sweeps through a sliding panel in the wall. I'm left alone in the hallway with the dogs. I feel the bigger one sniff my side insistently. Then I look down, it simply pulls back and stares. Then the smaller one is sniffing my other side, huffing samples of my scent. I whirl around, and it sits back on its haunches, watching me innocently. Cheeky! As I look into the one sanguine eye, an unsettling sensation ripples through my body like a wave of fever. A guest! I stepped back, gaze darting up and down the corridor. The voice was coming from the top of the stairs. I can only see so far into the hollow gloom, but there's no one there. I nearly jump when I feel yanking at my garments. The dogs, their teeth are buried in my clothes, unrelenting as they drag me onto the stairs. I trip up the first few steps and their tails start wagging. Hey! I try to wrench myself free, but the two dogs tug stubbornly. The dogs only let me go at the top of the stairs. The floor and walls are frigid stone, and the air smells of ash. My head is spinning, and I hardly feel the chill in the air. Though my heart is hammering, I summon a weak glimmer of light in my palm. I look around for the dogs, but they're nowhere to be seen. There is a door ahead, partway open. Instead, it is a deeper darkness, swallowing the feeble rays of light. Use coins to access extra content. Tap the banner to buy more. I'm entering that room. Confirm. The magic in my palms shrinks to a fluttering glow when I step through the doorway. Coming from the hole, it's warm inside. The thick air has a strong peppery taste. A heavily canopied bed stretches midway across the room. I pass the extravagant suit of armor, a marble writing desk with a white peacock feather pen, all all blanketed in ash. My light flickers over a portrait on the wall, twice my height. My dim light stretches up the canvas. Though it's hard to see, I have no doubt of the painting's subject. Count Lucio. He looks younger than I expected, or the portrait is old. Or perhaps the artist was catering to his vanity. The red of his coat is the cardinal hue from the painting in the dining room. The golden arm, a marvel of alchemical art. The fur hanging from his haughty shoulders look impossibly fine. And go on, touch it. A miasma of thick, scorching air pushes my hand towards the portrait, but I feel nothing but ash and canvas. There is snickering inside my head as a haze settles over my mind. Nothing like the real thing, seeing, unable to feel. Such sweet torture. Warmth like an ember radiates at the back of my neck. The magic in my palm reacts. Oh, it's a room filled with ash with a painting of Count Lucio. This is the room he died in. The magic in my palms reacts. The glow stretching past my fingers and down my wrist. The strange sensations subside when the voice grows fainter, even wistful. There is your energy. Oh, it's here. Could you be? The haze vanishes from my mind. I reel back from the portrait. Something soft meets the back of my knees, and I fall through folds of dusty velvet into the massive bed. Sorry about that. Great plumes of ash billow around me when my back hits the bed covers. This is Count Lucio's bed, right where he was murdered. Incinerated. Then this fine ash in my eyes, in my nose and mouth and all over me. It's what's left of him. I clap my hand over my mouth, smothering a scream as I struggle to stand. Going so soon? You're no fun. That voice, it echoed from every corner of the room and from within my mind. Who are you? The temperature drops, my hurried breaths turning into fine mist. I hear shifting in the fine ash, and a weak cry unlike anything a human would make. Nobody at all. An unseen breeze moves past me, tickling the trim of the canopy, toward the portrait. Now this specimen of a man, he was somebody. The voice trails off. The room feels normal once again. I scramble to my feet and make a break for the door. Breaking into a run, I continue down the hall, searching for the vague darkness for any way out. The portraits on the wall watch me run with cold, aristocratic stares. Come back. Come back. Against all good sense, I stop and turn around. I only see it for a moment, a silhouette dark against the wall of high windows frosted with smoke. Claws, horns, and hooves like onyx. The white face of a goat with red eyes fixate gleefully on me. I blink and it's gone. I hear clamoring off to the side, the creak of a door, and then silence. By the time I stumble down the stairs, disorientated, Portia is looking around corners for me. There you are! She stares at the fine powdery ash coating me from head to toe. What? Why are you covered in ash? What did those naughty dogs do? She produces a plain white handkerchief and hands it to me. All I can muster is a dazed nod of thanks as I dust myself up. My mind feels fogged, struggling to make sense of the shadows I saw, the whispers I heard. Portia takes me gently by the elbow, helping me brush off the last of the ash. You know, I'm just gonna leave these cakes right here. Let's get you to bed. I follow at Portia's heel until we arrive at our destination. Thankfully, it isn't much further. She swings open the door with a sweeping gesture. These will be your quarters, Dover. You can put your things wherever you like. Breakfast is at sunrise. I'll wake you. My fatigue must be showing. I let my bag fall to the floor. Eyeing the smooth linens, I shudder with exhaustion. You look ready to drop. I'll leave you be. Sleep well, Dover. Her soft voice trails off and she gently slides the door shut. At once I burrow into the luxurious sheets. It feels as though I'm weightless. Heart thumping to the rhythm of Portia's steady, ever-distant footfalls, I sink into unconsciousness. What a chapter. Well, see you guys next video, guys. Hope you had a great time watching this video despite horrible audio, and I'll see you next time. Bye.